Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to learn a new lesson about foundations of business organizational structure. So first, let's define what is organization. Organization are the means by which society achieves their goals. This is so even if organizations are different from each other. So, by its definition, organizations are systems created to achieve common goals through people to people and people to work relationships. Examples are the charities, associations, corporations, agencies, etc. Now let's proceed to organizational structure. It refers to the formal pattern of how people and jobs are grouped in an organization. It is often illustrated by an organizational chart specifying who reports to whom. So, businesses of all shapes and sizes use organizational structures heavily. They define a specific hierarchy within an organization. Organizational structures are normally illustrated in some sort of chart or diagram like pyramid, wherein the most powerful members of the organization sit at the top while those with the least amount of power are at the bottom. Having a structure in place can help with efficiency and provide clarity for everyone at every level. That also means each and every department can be more productive as they are likely to be more focused on energy and time. So, organizational structures consist of five basic elements, which are the work specialization, departmentation, pattern of authority, span of control, and coordination of activities. So, work specialization is also known as division of labor. It refers to the degree to which tasks necessary to achieve organizational objectives is divided into various jobs, which means that it is a process of dividing work activities into separate job tasks. Individual employees specialize in doing part of an activity rather than the entire activity in order to increase work output. Other organizations have employees specialized in individual tasks so that the workers become highly proficient in their specialized area. Next is the advantages of work specialization. First, total productivity tends to multiply geometrically, which means that work specialization is something that can boost productivity. It is an important aspect and can increase as well as the productivity over time. And having a person who can do the work without flaws, will eventually bring out more output, which directly leads to more productivity. Second, simplified tasks can be learned in relatively short and be completed quickly. And lastly, the availability of variety of jobs makes it possible for people to choose or to be assigned to positions they enjoy and for which they are well suited. From your perspective, you will find that specialization generally leads to higher job satisfaction. The reason for this is rooted in any number of factors. For a lot of people, it is a result of doing something that you love. That's because professionals generally focus on a skill that they enjoy. Other people are happier because they get immense satisfaction and pleasure from doing something they are good at. It makes them feel like they have something of value to offer to their employee, customer, etc. So this is an example of structure with no work specialization. As you can see, the top management is the manager, then under the manager is the sales, credit, and collection supervisor. It shows here that both departments have similar positions. Next one is this. So in this chart, it shows here the structure for having a work specialization. And as you can see, it is categorized or divided into boxes, which is filled with different positions depending on their work expertise or specialization. The second basic elements of organizational structure is departmentation or departmentalization, which refers to the grouping of jobs under the authority of a single manager according to some common, rational basis for the control, purpose of planning, coordination, and control. In addition, departmentation is the process by which similar activities of the business are grouped into units for the purpose of facilitating smooth administration at all levels. So the departments operate under the control of a manager who is known as department head, who report directly to the chief executive. The department head has adequate authority over the activities and employees working there. He is ultimately responsible for the smooth functioning of the department. Next is the basis for grouping jobs. So first, knowledge and skills. Positions may be grouped according to the specialized knowledge and skills that members bring to the job. For example, professors in universities are assigned to specialized departments such as social science, business, and vocational. Second is the work process and function. Positions are grouped according to the process or activities to be performed. So workers are grouped based on the process or activity used by the worker. For example, a manufacturing company which may create separate casting, welding, and machining groups. Often it is the underlying technology that determines the departmentation. Another example is a print shop which may have separate letterpress and offset departments, two different processes for getting the same outputs. The third one is time. So positions may also be grouped on the basis of when the work is to be done. This method of departmentation is used in situations where work is done in round the clock. For example, in textile factory, wherein workers work in shifts. When the organization performs the same work 24 hours a day, as may occur in a textile factory, members are grouped into 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. shift, then 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. shift, then the other is 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. shift, so that the work can progress continuously. Next is the product. Positions in the organization may be grouped according to the good or service that is being produced. An appliance manufacturer may have separate departments handling audiovisual equipment, air conditioners, and refrigerators. So this form of departmentation is suitable for companies that produce multiple products. The product departmentation is grouping of jobs and resources around the products or product lines that a company sells. Under product departmentation, all the activities needed to produce and market a product or service are usually under the control of a single manager. Then the next is customer. Groups may also be formed on the basis of the need to deal with different types of customers. A business firm, for instance, may create a department that deals with customers who pay cash and another department for customers who avail of credit offered by the company. So, when organizations sell to customers with different needs, departments are created on the basis of customer. Customer departmentation is the organizing of jobs and resources in such a way that each department can carefully understand and respond to different needs of specific customer groups. And last is location. Positions may also be grouped according to location. An organization, for instance, may create a Luzon division, a Visayas division, and Mindanao division. So when the organization is large and geographically dispersed, departmentation on territorial basis is the best. This is also considered suitable where the branches produce the same goods or perform similar services at various locations. Now let's proceed to the advantages of departmentation in an organization. The first is supervision is made easier. The next, the sharing of resources such as men, machines, and materials results to maximum use of such resources. Common measures of performance is established and communication is encouraged. So by means of departmentation, the guidance and control of working force with a view to see if the employee are working according to plan and keeping time schedule. Further, they are getting all possible help in accomplishing their assigned work. So we have here an example of grouping job structure according to knowledge and skills. As you can see, the university is assigned to specialized departments, which is the nursing, engineering, and business. So this department should take an advantage of specialization. It permits people to work in individual departments and gain experience and expertise as well in handling things over there. A sample grouping jobs according to products. Grouping activities by product line tasks can also be grouped according to a specific product or services, and also placing all activities related to the product or the service under one manager. Trading company is like a manager that uses product departmentalization, and this motorcycle appliances and lubricants is the structures based on a manufacturer. Example groupings jobs according to customers. Grouping activities on the basics of common customers job may be grouped according to job type of customer served by the organization. In this example, appliance dealer is who pay cash to the customer, and the drug manufacturer can customer who avail of credit offered by the company. Example grouping jobs according to location. Grouping activities on the basics based on the territory. So if an organization customer are geographically dispersed, it can group jobs based on geography. So these are the example. Trading company is the geography, and this part of this Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao is the division based on a territory. Next one is pattern of authority. Pattern of authority may either be centralized or decentralized. It is decentralized when decision making is concentrated in the hands of higher level manager. It is decentralized when decision making authority is granted to middle and lower management position. The example of pattern of authority is the government official. Government official is prevalent all over the world. There are advantages and disadvantages of decentralized. So we were going to advantages. So number one is efficiency. Red tapes and bottlenecks are reduced. Number two is flexibility. Managers can cope with situation as they come. Number three is initiative. Managers are highly motivated by the challenges. And number four is development. Managers are provided with opportunity for training. So we will go into disadvantages. So number one is control. Coordinating overall activities is more difficult. Number two is duplication. There is a great chance of efforts duplicate between departments. So number three is centralized expertise. Home office experts may be overlooked or disregarded. Number four is competency. The organization may not be able to produce competent managers at all levels. Next one is span of control. Also called span of management is the term used in business management, particularly human resource management. For example, a manager can manage 4 to 6 subordinates when the nature of work is complex, whereas the number can go up to 15 to 20 subordinates for repetitive or fixed work. Next one is the span of control may either be narrow or wide. It is the narrow when there are few subordinates reporting to a supervisor. Number one is there is closer relationship between manager and subordinates. And number two, there is less delegation of authority. And number three is controlling activities are more tight and there is more time for rewarding behavior. Span of control is wide when there are many subordinates reporting to a supervisor. Number one is employees work with little supervision. Number two is there is high level of delegation of authority. Number three is controlling is lighter. And number four is there is less time for rewarding behavior. Coordination refers to the linking of activities in the organization that serve to achieve a common goal or objective. In vertical coordination, a superior authority coordinates his work with that of his subordinate and vice versa. For example, a sales manager will coordinate his tasks with his sales supervisor. And common organizational design, there are three organizational design which consists of the following. Number one is the simple structure, number two is bureaucracy, and number three is the matrix structures. Also, on the next page, we will going to see the structure of the simple structure. Okay, this one is a simple structure. So, simple structure is one that is characterized by a low degree of departmentalization, wide spans of control authority centralized in a single person, and little formalization. And these structures see that an employee from the finance department may be called upon by the HR human resource manager to handle a matter related to this area. And then the IT information technology manager may do the same and so forth. Next one is the bureaucracy. It's a rational, systematic, and precise form of organization in which rules, regulation, and techniques of control are precisely defined. So this is the bureaucratic form of organization. And as you can see, there are top levels of managers, the number of employees, and the power of and authority. So, another example of bureaucratic management is the modern corporation. The CEO is at the top of the organizational structure. There may be numerous vice presidents in charge of particular parts of corporation business and functions such as operation, marketing, sales, and legal. We use machine bureaucracy if the company emphasizes more on the technical and production. Senior management make decisions which managers and employees at lower levels carry out. The examples of the companies that uses this are steel-type companies and large government organizations. Here, in the professional bureaucracy, work is mostly done by professionals. The company depends on the hands and knowledge of its employees. This is more complex and complicated than the machine bureaucracy. In addition, it is both functional and market-based for the reason that it categorizes clients in terms of their functional specialists. The first advantage of this is no favoritism. It is discouraged in this type of structure. Equality is emphasized here. This means that friendships don't influence the outcomes they created. Due to this, employees will be more comfortable knowing that they are treated equally and without having an apple of the eye. The second one is I didn't find any reasons on the internet. In my understanding, we are aware that in some organizations, those people who are with higher positions tend to be the favorite of the highest positions.
However, in this bureaucracy, they are all equal and everything is favorable on everyone, and not with the manager's favorite employee. Next are the disadvantages. Specialization is a disadvantage in this structure considering the fact that it creates conflicts. Again, in number 2, I didn't find any further explanations for this. In my own understanding, this structure is complicated and requires a lot of paperwork. Thus, an error is not allowed for the reason that it will take a long time to process again. Matrix structure. This structure involves two or more types of organizational structures. Usually, there are two chains of command, where project team members have two bosses or managers. Below are the pros and cons of this structure. For us to save time, I'll just summarize the pros and cons. The advantage of this is it allows multiple departments to easily communicate and collaborate on the project. Employees have much more autonomy and input in projects. It also increases employees' interaction and promotes better sense of teamwork, professional development, and lastly, it allows the resources to be maximized as well as their skills. As for the cons, considering the fact that Matrix requires workers to answer to two or more managers, it can cause conflict between managers and projects. This structure also employs two or more managers to answer, and it may arise potential challenges including confusion and opposition of each manager's decisions. Lastly, it reduces companies' effectivity to decide on which task is more important. As we can see in the chart, there are many shapes, especially on the lower part of the manager. Shapes correspond the managers in which employees are following. It's kind of confusing, right? Considering the fact that having many managers may lead to confusion. However, it increases an employee's interactions and skills. Thus, aside from machine and professional bureaucracy, we also have designs such as outsourcing organization and team structure. Outsourcing organization is handy for the reason that it can decrease the need of the company for workers, equipment, and materials. It can also cover any work in an organization like hiring and training employees, packaging and distribution, and many more to mention. As we can see, Executive Group is in the center for the reason that this is the company that we are working, and there are four things surrounding the center as caused by it can ask for help in other companies in case that they need help. After all, outsourcing means asking for help or sourcing in other things or company that offers the help that we need. Team structure refers to the individual team or multi-team system. A properly structured team is an enabler for the result of effective communication, leadership, and support. It involves a leader and dedicated members who are committed to their roles in order to have an efficient teamwork. The reason why this topic is important is due to the fact that it can help us do an effective strategy and being an effective employee in the near future. We also need to be aware of the different types of structures for the reason that not all structures mentioned are useful in any type of situation or element. Lastly, knowing this makes us capable and flexible of adapting by the cause of we are aware of what type of structure we are involved in.
Thank you for listening. The response to Think About Things has been overwhelming. Stay healthy, stay fabulous. You guys are beautiful. Never forget that.